Hey everybody, this is Vim and welcome back to the channel and welcome to another weekly recap video. This of Dragonflight Season 2, week number 11, and I'm excited for this week. Last week was our very first recap. Thank you everybody who watched that, and like I said, hopefully these videos will get better and better as we go along. But taking a look at our Mythic Plus rating and where we stand starting this week, we have a Mythic Plus rating of 1534. So not too bad. Got over that 1500 mark. I'm quite happy about that. Quite proud of myself for that. You know, being a casual gamer that I am, I don't get a chance to play all that often, so it's nice to be able to get over that 1500 mark. So the goal last week was to get plus 11s and everything, and we almost got that, except for the damn underrot. We just didn't have a chance to run it last week at anything at all, actually, and you see we're only sitting at a 5 still. So my goal for this week is to get everything up to a plus 11 on a tyrannical week. As you see, the lowest we have is an 8, so hopefully that won't be too difficult, and hopefully that'll bring our rating up a little bit. So we're starting at a 427 item level, and overall we're not doing too bad. So let's dive in, let's take a look, let's see how we do, and let's see if we can get plus 11s on all of these and what it'll bring our rating to. So we start off by picking up the Emissary of War. This week we actually get a good reward for doing 4 Mythic Dungeons, so hopefully we get something nice from that. And taking a little closer look at our gear, overall we're not doing bad. We have either Champion or Hero in most slots except for our wrist, which is still at a veteran level. It's maxed out at 8 of 8. We also need gloves, still at a veteran level, and we also need a belt that's veteran. But besides for that, everything else is either champion or hero, so we are well on our way. Let's see if we can get some of those pieces to kind of fill that in for this week. So we of course start off with the fighting as its own reward, and we do the 5 heroic dungeons. We first take on a Ruby Life Pools, piece of cake. We then move on to an Alderman, knock that out. Then a Brackenhide Hollow, and pretty much nail that out of the park as well. Then we move on to a Neltheris, and finally an Azure Vault. And all this was pretty simple, so let's go see what we get as a reward. So we go turn the reward in, and hoping and praying one of those 3 pieces that are still veteran. Do the little circle of luck. Come on, come on, come on. And we open it up. And of course I get a Moonless Hood. Absolutely useless to me. Thanks. Alright, so now that we got the heroic reward out of the way, it's time to come open the vault. Now, I didn't show the vault last week, but so I'm determined to show it this week. 3 pieces. That's all we're looking for, right? Hero or champion of wrist, gloves, or belt. Come on. So I open it up, and looky there. We got a wrist piece. That's a hero, 3 of 5. So it's a 434 item level. So that's going to be a nice little upgrade for us. So right off the bat, we're doing not too bad. The other 2 pieces weren't much to talk about. So this was actually a pretty easy choice of picking up those animated shackles. Alright, so after opening up the vault, we come over to the Catalyst to see if we can upgrade to some tier gear. So, of course, we can do the belt because it is now a higher level gear, and I do not mind using that to upgrade it to a tier piece. And I still have 2 charges left that I can use, so I'm looking, you know, these bracers are only veteran. This is a champion, so the boots are champion level, so it's like, might as well go ahead and upgrade it to a tier piece just to kind of fill out the set. I already have the 4 piece, so I don't really need anything else. So just kind of using here to just kind of fill them in. I'm still not going to do the other pieces that are veteran because I do not want to waste catalyst charges on those. Alright, and it's now time to start our Mythic Plus runs of the week. So the affixes are tyrannical this week, storming, which isn't too bad. They're annoying, but storming, and then obviously raging for the 3rd one, which I don't think we're going to get to this week, so we don't have to worry about it. So our first dungeon is a plus 11 Neltharian's Lair, and we're going through pretty good. We take out Rockmora, we have 0 deaths, so we're starting the week off pretty well. We end up here getting to Olarog, and we're still sitting at 0 deaths, so good start to the week so far. So at this stage, when he does his little rock transformation thing and kind of runs around the room, I'm keeping my mouse on where he is, so that way when they stop, I know which one to attack. So I can clearly see it's this one, right here, right there. But everybody goes to this one. So I'm like, all right, maybe I was wrong. I'm going to help him burn this one down. Let's see if I was wrong. I don't think I am, but, you know, let's give it a shot. So take the first one out. Obviously, it's not it. I'm like, all right, fuckers, listen, I was watching it. This is the one. Did they come and help me? No, they decided to go to the second one. So, all right, fuck them. I am now just going to burn this one down myself if I have to. They eventually end up taking out that second one. He's not there. Now they listen to me and go, oh, okay, it's this guy. Yeah, just listen to the priest next time, folks. So we end up fighting him, kill him out pretty quick. Still sitting at 0 deaths. So after Olrog, we move on to Neuraxis. Take him down pretty quick. No deaths. Still at 0. Cruising right along. Alright, so if I be going, Vim, what's the part where you're an idiot and you screw things up? Well, it's right here. Yep. So I go ahead and I get killed this way. I'm like, alright, I'm a moron, whatever. First death of the dungeon, of course, it's me. I get a battle res, and what do? I accept it right into a fucking AoE. And that's where I die again. Yeah. So we get 2 more deaths, so thankfully it's now not just on me, but we get this badass paladin who's like, alright, there's still 70-something% left. I can solo this guy. You know, at some point you have to go, okay, is it going to be quicker for me to sit here and try to solo this guy and take forever? I mean, we're still doing okay on time. We've got 13 minutes, so we're not doing bad, but come on, dude. You can't do it all. So it's like, he heals himself back. It's like, just die, let's wipe, let's start it over. We can get it done a lot quicker than us all sitting here watching you try to be the hero, which for the most part you're doing okay, but you've gotten him down approximately 0%. So he ends up dying anyway, and we all wipe and lose a bunch of time. Alright, so we all wipe, we come back, we end up taking him down. We only have 2 more deaths, so not bad. So I got a +8, bringing my rating up to a 1542. I did end up getting this trinket, which I did not need, so yeah, thanks. And because I didn't need it, and I am such a nice guy, I went ahead and traded it to the Evoker. Alright, so our second dungeon of the week is a +11 Halls of Effusion, and we're not doing too bad. We get to the first boss. We've had no deaths again, so maybe this is going to be a really damn good week. So we end up fighting him. We do end up here getting 1 death right at the very end. Alright, not bad. We'll take it, but we're able to finish him off with no problem and moving right along. Alright, we get to Gulping Goliath, and we're able to take him out, and as right now we're sitting at 2 deaths. Not bad still. So, yeah, this dungeon isn't going so bad. We take on the third boss. Boom, knock her out. We're sitting at 4 deaths. Doing great on time. Man, we are just cruising this thing at +11. Alright, we're on to the final boss, and we kill him right as we get sent all the way back. So, we kill them, we get a +8, bringing our rating up to 1550. But now we got to make this long-ass run all the way back. At least we don't have to dodge shit on the way there, right? So we end up getting back and not doing too bad. All right, on to our third of the week, and it's a +11 Underrot. Everything started off okay. Had a stupid death right there. That was just standing in shit I shouldn't be standing in. I get the res, okay. So, of course, again, first death of the dungeon. That's me. We end up losing 2 more people on this boss, but that's okay. We're sitting at 3 deaths, so something happened to me in this dungeon that I've never had before. And, you know, I've only been playing now, you know, since coming back since last season and now, you know, this season. So I haven't had that many, but it was still odd when it happened. So we killed the first boss and we're moving on. All right, so we get to the part where the second boss is, and we've had a couple more deaths. So we're sitting at 6, but still not doing too bad. So we actually skip him, and looks like we're going to be heading over to Sporecaller, which is fine, right? I've seen this done a couple of times where people will skip Cragmaw and go to Sporecaller to beat him, then to come back and take on Cragmaw at the end, and then we move on, right? So that's no big deal. But what kind of struck me as odd here is we start losing people, right? And people are dying. But this tank just keeps going. He just keeps pulling and pulling and pulling. He's not letting anybody stop to rest or for mana or even to res. Like, as we're resing, he's just just chugging right along. It's like he's on some personal fucking mission to do this in the world's best time. I don't know what he's doing. So we're going through. It's not looking good. People are having to run back, and he pulls before people are even back yet. So I'm like, okay, this is going to be one of those. So we get the Spore Caller, and to be fair, everybody that was here didn't really know the mechanics, right? They didn't know when you get the little AoE on yourself that you need to bring them over to the mushrooms so the AoE can wipe those out. We didn't know all of that, so, or not everybody knew all of that, so when it got time to this first part, we just insta-died, right? And now this tank is, you know, being his tanky self, and decides that he's going to try to do what he can again to finish this out without everybody else. So we end up coming back to him. Come back, we're now sitting at 11 deaths, and the same thing happens, right? People just really didn't know what to do. And this is where it's the first I've ever had this happen. We all release, we're heading back to the boss, and then the tank decides that, yeah, he's fucking done. He decides to leave the group, so yeah, now we're screwed. So this is the first this has ever happened to me, so was not a very pleasant experience, to say the least. So yeah, okay, moving on. And since I was already sitting here, I decided to go for another underrot, so we do another plus 11 underrot. This time we go in, we take out the first boss, no problem, 0 deaths, take out Cragmaw, the second boss, 0 deaths, and then we kind of move on. Now, the main difference between this run and the previous run is, as you're going to see here in a little bit, we get to Spore Caller again. And to say that we fucked up, again, a bunch of people that didn't know the mechanics, and so we died. And when I say we died, I mean we died a fucking lot. And again, Death Knights, man, God love them, but they think they can take everything on. So, you know, we end up wiping here for not once, not twice. You know, it's me and the Death Knight, and we're thinking, okay, we can do this, maybe, right? I got some good DPS. He's a good tank. We can do it. But it just ended up being too much, and we end up. Once I died, then the tank is like, well, yeah, we're pretty much done. So, yeah, so we're trying our best. I die, he ends up dying. So we're like, okay, let's wipe and let's start it again. We're sitting at 5 deaths, and of course, we fail to the same mechanic again. We wipe yet one more time. Now, the big difference is everybody's staying together and kind of being supportive. We're talking each other through the mechanics, what we need to do. So we all release, we come back, we try it again, and yeah, same shit. We die once again. Now, at this point, you're probably thinking, uh-oh, here we go again. But no, we did what a group should do. We rallied around each other. We took notes. We figured it out. We came back. We kicked his fucking ass. And then we ended up moving on to the next one. And we're sitting at 16 deaths. So that's how you do it as a group, folks. We get to the final boss, and we're now up to 18 deaths. Obviously, not the best run ever, but doing okay. We still end up timing it. We fucking timed it. We could have done that with the last one. That guy wasn't a douchebag. Anywho, we end up one chest and then get plus 11, bringing our rating up to a 1561. And I'm like, see, guys, it was rough, but we still ended up timing it. If only that other asshole had done this, we would have been okay. I only get a Splintered Spark, so no loot, but still, it was good to do. We then move on to a plus 11 Vortex Pinnacle. We all know how much I hate this dungeon, but you know what? This may quietly be turning into my favorite dungeon of the season. We go through 0 deaths, perfect run. We 2-chest it, bringing our rating up to a 1571. And I'm just as shocked as you are. We had nobody die this whole run. Yeah, pretty damn good. All right, our next dungeon is a plus 11 Freehold. We run through most of it pretty easy. We get to the final boss. We have 1 death. We end up taking him out. So a 1 death plus 11 run. We 2-chested it, bringing us up to a 1579. And I end up getting a little piece of loot. So I was quite happy about that one. And then we move on to the next plus 11 Alderman. Look at this, 1 death again. We kill him. Man, this is a great week. I only get a plus 5, bringing us up to 1584, but besides for the one asshole leaving, this has been a really good week so far. Alright, so now this is our 8th dungeon. It's a plus 11 Neltharis. Now look at that death total. 25 deaths, and we did not make it. So unfortunately, we didn't time it, so I didn't get any rating. We're still sitting at a 1534, but you know what? It's the experience that counts, right? It's the ride, it's the journey, it's the destination, not the outcome. Alright, it would have been nice to time it. I agree, but, you know, hey, we do what we can do. So, alright, so we're actually on our 9th dungeon, and I've now plus 11'd everything. So I decided, hey, let's bump it up a little bit. Let's now try to do a plus 13. I go to my favorite place ever, Vortex Pinnacle. And wouldn't you know it, we timed it. We only won chested. I got a 16 plus 16, bringing us up to a 1600 rating, but Vortex Pinnacle, plus 13. We made it. And then I portal back to Valdrac and I go, oh shit, that's right, I forgot about this quest of doing 4 mythics. So I go ahead and I turn that in, open it up, Circle of Luck, and I get a trinket that I am not going to use. So yeah, another kind of waste. Alright, so we end the week with a item level of 429 between the upgrades that we got, some of the gear that we got, and being able to upgrade kind of along the way. So we went up by 2 levels, and our Mythic Plus rating is now at an even 1600. But if you look, we are now sitting at plus 11s on everything except for the Underrot, which I will take care of next week, I promise you guys. So now it's moving on. I think my goal is going to be to plus 13 every dungeon now. Let's see where that gets us. I've heard that you can get to Keystone Master only doing 13s. I don't think that's real, but you know, hey, let's give it a shot. So next week we're going to try running plus 13s on everything, see how that goes. And if we have a week like we had this week, I don't think we're going to be doing too bad. Overall, we did pretty well, except for that one Underrot where the guy just decided to up and vanish like a fucking fart in the wind. This would have been almost a perfect week for me, but alas, it can't be perfect, right? You got to have some type of glitch in the system or something. But anywho, I think we had an amazing week, and I thank everybody for coming by and watching this, and hopefully you enjoyed it. I tried something a little different this week, and I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think I liked the way I made the video this week, especially with the voiceover and the clips, and it just didn't mesh well. So it may seem like I was rushed in parts and not so much in other parts, but yeah, so I think I'm going to go back to my other way. So, but that's the point of this, right? Is to learn, is to get better, is to do it better. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you for coming along on the ride, and please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'd like to see what we can do with this channel, and if you have any suggestions or comments on either my gameplay, obviously I'll always take those, or what you think we can do to help improve these videos, or make them better for your viewing enjoyment, I am all ears. So thank you guys again, and we will see you next week.